So we are live here in Beverly Hills, and it's a special occasion. And this guy right here did something remarkable. When I say remarkable, remarkable. And I cannot wait for you to hear the story of how we're sitting right here at an art gallery with this beautiful art behind me, and the artist is sitting right here. That's not the remarkable part. The art is gorgeous, don't get me wrong. The art is gorgeous. It's a lot of color in here, it's a lot of sunlight in here. It's nice. It feels good in here. Earlier we had some live music in here. But now it's time to get the story behind the art gallery. It's an amazing story. So first, that's where I want to start. Because this art gallery and us sitting here is an act of faith. And speaking, closed mouth don't get fed. Speak and request. I'm not going to tell your story. I want you to tell your story. How did you did not have an art gallery. You have 1,000 paintings at your house. And I remember you saying, I need to do something with these paintings, and I wish I had my own art gallery. I want my own art gallery. And you had the audacity to say in Beverly Hills.
Well, I'm sitting here with my sunglasses on in a building because I feel famous.
Wow.
Full of myself right now. No, I'm just kidding.
You should feel famous. Don't play.
Thank you, Imani. And we're at the J.Thomas Luxury Art Gallery, and it is truly a step of faith. Everything, Imani, I think everything that you know, we've known each other 100 years, but everything I've ever done was a step of faith.
But this one is ridiculous faith.
Yeah, I am definitely a man of faith. You know, I have people call me everything, man of God, all of that. I like being a man of faith, because when you're a man of faith, you are a man or woman of faith, you are going to be tested. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And being a man or woman of faith, you have to have goals and you have to have dreams. And I saw a saying that said, if your goals and dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough.
Okay.
A lot of folks walk around with small dreams and small goals, and they get discouraged when things don't go right. So, like you said, I had the audacity to say, I want an art gallery in Beverly Hills. Knowing everything over here is $10,000 a month. and I'm not, it was just first of all, an act of faith to even schedule what was supposed to be a pop-up show. Mm-hmm. We would just do a pop-up show and, just get some exposure. Mm-hmm. Everything didn't work out the way I wanted it to, because I wanted, the Beverly Hills Chamber involved and a lot of other things that just, I didn't have time to put it together. But in deciding that I wanted to have an art gallery in Beverly Hills, I prayed about it. I came across this location. I negotiated a price with the guy to have the pop-up show. And then I asked him, I said, I would really like to have 276 South La Cienega could be the permanent home of the J.Thomas Luxury Art Gallery. And he said, well, I would like to have it. And we started talking, and the more we talked, and I very seldom tell anybody that I'm a pastor. I very seldom tell anybody. People, they go from being a sinner to a saint as soon as they know you're a pastor. So they don't want to cuss in front of you. All of that. I don't care. You cuss whatever you want to do. don't matter to me, because if I had to preach to you, I'm gonna preach to you. So, but we started talking, and I told him I was a pastor, and he said, I really would like to have you to bless my building. I said, well, it's gonna be blessed. And all I have to do is walk in it, and the blessing is there. and so he started telling me how he was Jewish and all of that, and now he calls me Rev.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he was here today. He was here today and met everybody and danced, and with the violinists and all of that. And shout out to Max. Max said, well, we're gonna work a deal. We're gonna make this is gonna be the J.Thomas Luxury Art Gallery. I'm not gonna give y'all too much of my business,
Exactly.
but just let's say God worked it out to where we're in Beverly Hills now. And I had as you said about audacity, I had the audacity this morning. I'm thinking like, God, do I really want to make that drive to Beverly Hills? I was like, God, forgive me for even thinking that. You can build a building in Beverly Hills. If I got to catch the bus, I'm going. I'm going to be there. But it definitely is a step of faith. Just like with all of the art that you see, I've only been painting for 8 years. I've only been painting for 8 years, and that was a good place for you to ask me, how did I get started painting?
You know why I didn't want to go? This is why I didn't want to go here, because I need to wrap this faith thing up a little bit.
Okay.
So we have 2 things. Well, really more than 2, but I'm not gonna get in your business. One is.
Can somebody on the production team give me a bottle of water? I told you I'm full of myself today. So.
Yeah, I see you walking in I see you you're wearing your clothes in your authority. I can see that, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a godly confidence. But one is the owner is Jewish,
Right.
but still you had favor with a Jewish man to say, hey, I want you to have this spot, and I'm gonna work out an incredible deal, a deal that only God could make happen.
Yeah.
The other thing is you was just trying to do a pop-up shop. Let me find a venue, because I just need to put my art out there. And you did a flyer before you had a venue that said Beverly Hills. See, you didn't say that part. You put out a flyer, a save the date with no venue. That's faith. And a lot of times with faith, we say we have faith, we want to have faith, but we don't do anything.
Yeah.
And you put a flyer out. You made a move that kind of like tugged on the Lord to step in. And not only did he just step in, but you ended up having this space to showcase your art all the time. And not just this beautiful, well-lit room right off the streets where I see cars driving back and forth, people are walking back and forth looking in the window. But there's some rooms in the back where you can showcase all of your art. That's amazing. Amazing. You said you wanted it, you didn't expect it, and God did above. He went above what you asked.
Well,
You
that's.
wanted a pop-up shop. I mean, you wanted it, but you put the flyer out for a pop-up shop, and it was like, oh, I got you. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna give you the shop. How about that?
Imani, it is.
Wow.
It is. I mean, when you say it like that, it is amazing. One of the things about walking in faith is that when you're walking in faith, that's all you know. You know that you are trusting God, you believe in God, you're walking in faith. You're not thinking about how magnificent the end result is going to be. Because God is always, when we talk about trusting God, God is always going to go over and above anything that we think he's going to do. But to get to this place, let's see why Sister Imani wants to focus on the faith part. I want to focus on the journey. The journey to get to this place is where you fall a lot. Where you trust God and are disappointed a lot. that's how you develop the faith to believe God for a Beverly Hills store that you know you don't have the money to pay for. Is that because you've had all of these missteps, all of these, I fell on my face. I was trusting God and God didn't do it this time. God didn't do it. It didn't happen the way I wanted it to happen and all of that. You know, all of this is, and I know you want to get to it, but even when you think about it, you look at these beautiful paintings and all of this was born out of tragedy.
Exactly.
If and I don't want to get emotional about it, but if my brother Ricky had not been killed,
you wouldn't even be painting.
I wouldn't even be here. I would have never picked up a paintbrush.
Exactly.
I would have never picked up a paintbrush if Ricky had not lost his life. And I always say that because I did so much for my brother. When he got to heaven, he said, God, give Jay the ability to paint. he helped me, now I'm going to help him. Give him the ability to paint. But I would love for people to get out of my story that even tragedy, even when things go wrong, when you feel like you are in the fiery furnace, if you don't give up,
there you go.
If you don't give up, there's something, and this right here, this is just another step.
Exactly.
You know, I really want to be an artist on the level of Basquiat. You know, even though he dead, but I don't want to be dead. You know, but I want to, you know, one of his paintings sold for $150 million. So I'm looking to get to that place. And when I get there, I want to be a blessing to other people. So,
notice he said when and not if. But you know what? I'm gonna give. There's another root in this. It's another root, and it's faithful. It's the faithfulness. So because people are crashing every day, over and over again. People are having tragedy. Life is kicking people's butt every day, and they're not being given a Beverly Hills location. Their prayers are not being necessarily answered, or their dreams are not coming true. So, and they're falling, knees are bloody and everything.
Right.
But I just want to point out, because I've watched your life, I want to point out that your faithfulness seems to be it's a constant through the falling, because the prayer movement that you started, how many days is it? How many days consecutively at this
right
point?
now, about, I think it's like 3,970.
Almost
days.
4,000 consecutive days of praying. Praying through deaths, funerals, weddings, birthdays. You have it for 4,000, almost 4,000 days consecutively, not taking a break. That's faithfulness. And you said not to give up.
Yeah, because
that's faithfulness to not give up.
In the midst of that faithfulness, and I don't want people to think that, oh wow, you know, he has this Beverly Hills art gallery now, and you know his knees didn't get bloody. You know, there was a time I didn't even have a car, and I'm still going to preach to people to tell them how good God is.
Faithfulness.
I remember when oh God, it was bad for me. It was bad.
But faithfulness.
I
faithful, not faithful to the iPhone, not faithful to the club. But notice you said you didn't have a car, but you were still going to preach. You was faithful to God's business. People are there's some faithful people out here. People are faithfully cheating, faithfully having, fighting. People are faithfully gossiping. But there's a difference.
In the midst, and this just came to me, in the midst of that faithfulness, like I said, when I didn't even have a car, somebody very, very close to me who knew I didn't have a car came into $3 million and didn't offer to help at all. Could have helped and didn't. And I had to still keep preaching. I'm catching the bus to tell people. So I say all of that. I'm not to start preaching because I can, but that's not what we're here for today. But to let people know.
Yeah.
On the road to the road to faithfulness is full of broken glass, nails, lying people.
That produced the faithfulness. Because the fact that the person was not supposed to give you the car.
Right.
It would have cut off your opportunity to be faithful.
Yeah, sometimes I wonder why God do it like that though. I'm like, come on, God is like, I'm tired of being on this bus. I mean, I'm on the bus one night after I have gone and taught people about how good God is, and somebody starts shooting at the bus. And I'm like, really, God? I'm like, I'm a man of faith, and I'm on this bus, and the guy that they were shooting at, he jumped off the bus and started running. It was like being in the middle of a movie. And I'm like, I done just preached and prayed for people who got in nice cars and went home. And I'm catching the bus, hoping I still got a place to go to. So the journey is hard. The development of faithfulness is not easy. Because we have an enemy that does not want you to be faithful. And because that enemy don't want you to be faithful, it's always throwing up roadblocks.
That's why I'm happy about this interview and having an opportunity for people to see the results of faithfulness. Is beautiful art on the wall. It's beautiful location that's basically favored from being faithful. Beautiful.
That's definitely, one thing whenever somebody interviews me, I begin to see things through their eyes. And because I look at it and I'm like, I can almost think about every painting when I was creating it, the music I was listening to, and I hear it and feel it all over. Because I did an interview once, and the reporter said something I really loved. She said J.Thomas don't paint what he hears, he paints what he feels. And that was such a true statement, and I love it. It's weird because I was never even interested in art on any level, on whatsoever. The closest I came, I went to the Getty Museum with a friend of mine. I touched something that I was not supposed to touch. Next thing I know, security is all around, and they're like, and it was art. It was art. It was a King Henry VIII something, and I touched it. And I asked them, I'm like, well, why y'all don't have it roped off if you don't want nobody touching it? And they told her, my friend, they said, can you please make sure he don't touch nothing else? I'm like, I don't want to be here anyway. That's how much I dislike art. Now, I'm setting up my own art gallery.
I want to talk about this piece right behind you. You said you just did this piece. Beautiful.
Oh, this one here.
One thing about J.Thomas luxury art is you have to see it in person. You would send me these pictures of your art and I'll be like, I mean, it's nice on the picture, but I already know it has a whole different life form when you see it in person. And so that's why I like to come down here and actually look at it in person. This piece behind you, you said you just created this. When?
I created this one last night.
Wow.
4 foot by 6 foot.
It's huge, everybody. This is huge and it's gorgeous. It makes me feel like I want to touch it. like it has texture and pops of color that come out. What song inspired or what inspired the painting behind you?
It's interesting because the song that I listened to was by Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody. And one of the things I find really unusual about my art is that most of it looks nothing like the song. You know, if you ever heard, Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen, you're like, how in the world did he come out, did that come out? But I don't paint based on what I'm listening to. I create what it makes me feel.
Mm-hmm.
And when it makes me, whatever it makes me feel, whatever, it's almost like the music is telling my hands what to do. So that was, and this was, that song was a huge hit, for Queen. And one of the things I love about painting the music, because all of my paintings are inspired by music, is that you can listen to the same song over and over, and each time you'll feel something different. It'll make you feel something different, and therefore, two people can order a painting by the same name, and they're gonna look totally different.
So these are one of a kind.
Everything.
So who's your favorite artist to paint to?
Sade. Oh my God.
What?
Sade is my favorite
I thought
artist.
somebody else was. Somebody I went to college with.
Well, Gregory Porter. Gregory Porter is he's number 2. He's
Wow, he didn't
he's 1A.
Guys, he didn't move down to number 2. I remember when he was number 1.
I love Gregory Porter's music. I absolutely love Greg. An ideal concert tour would be Sade and Gregory Porter. But Gregory Porter, I would say Gregory Porter is 1A. He's 1A.
Okay.
But Sade is definitely, there's a Sade concert in San Diego. I put that on and I can paint all night.
Wow.
And then if I go into Gregory Porter, I'll be up for 2 days. Just painting, because Gregory Porter and Sade are my 2 favorite artists to paint to.
All right. So in this room right now, is there more Gregory Porter or is there more Sade?
The irony of it is that there's
No.
neither one. There is no Gregory Porter, there is no Sade here.
Wow, and it's a lot of space left for some more paintings to go up. So I can't wait to see. I have to come back so I can see how you move things around. It's enough for this place to look different every month.
I totally misjudged how big it was, because I have enough paintings to fill this place up.
Yeah.
But I thought I had too many paintings. But we're gonna, it's gonna evolve.
Okay.
It's gonna evolve, and it's gonna, really, really take on a life of its own. And it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice. That's really kind of weird. I didn't even think about that. There is no Sade or Gregory Porter.
So this is considered a soft opening.
Yes.
So if you didn't come today, know that look out for the next promotion flyer for this. If this was a soft opening with live music, people dancing, I can only imagine. And this beautiful art, I can only imagine what the actual opening will be like.
Yeah. We're gonna do a huge. I want to do a huge grand opening that's gonna be next level, and it's gonna get the attention of everybody in Beverly Hills.
All right, that means we serving cocktails. So listen, one thing I was concerned when I came is I was like, oh my goodness, what is parking gonna be like? But there's a little parking in the back.
Right.
And so there is some parking if you wanna come through Is it by appointment? When can people
Yeah.
come? And if people want to miss today, but they still want to come by?
Yeah, it's gonna definitely be by appointment, and I may do, some Saturdays, I may just come down here and open up, but for the most part, it's gonna be by appointment.
Okay.
It's gonna be by appointment, and, I'm hoping to get, commissions, get commissioned to create, paintings, but I love painting, and I really have not done my best at trying to sell paintings either.
Well, now it's time.
Yeah, it's time now, but your paintings truly do become like your children. You just don't want to let them go, and I have a storage room that
Full.
is full. It's packed. It's hard.
Packed.
It's hard to get in there with nothing but art. J.Thomas luxury art. So, but yeah, we have parking in the back, and anybody that's interested in having a one-of-a-kind painting, I'm definitely the man to contact.
So your painting is in the homes and the famous people.
Yeah,
Can you
Mariah
name a few?
Carey is probably the most famous person, and that whole experience was really crazy because her dentist bought the painting for her. And so when I had to meet with her, she had just came off of a Christmas tour in Europe. And so we met at her dentist's office. Her and she had her 2 kids with her and all of that. And she had to come in through the elevator shaft. She had to come in through the back.
Oh, wow.
And somehow the paparazzi still found out she was there. And she didn't have no makeup on, or none of that. And these people were waiting out front to but they snuck her out back she had to go down the elevator, almost had to go underground just to get out of there. But anyway, Mariah Carey, God, who else? Laurie, the owner of well, they since sold it, but the owner of Laurie's Prime Rib Restaurant, which is right down the street, she has a beautiful painting. I can't even believe I did it. That painting was gorgeous, and I wish we had it to where, I can show a picture of it. Maybe we can edit this and show the picture of her. Now, her painting was done off of a Great Reporter.
Oh, okay.
I think it was A Night in Harlem or something in Harlem by Great Reporter. So her painting was done off of Great Reporter. So, God, who else? There's a few people that have my art, and it just always excites me when they send me a picture of where they hung the painting, And I have a friend that bought a house out in Victorville, and she has one, and black and white painting. God, what was it? It was off of an Atlantic Star song. And when I posted it, for those of y'all that's too young to know, Atlantic Star was a big group. But they saw it online, and they reached out to me and told me how much they loved it. Oh, Lenny Williams.
I was gonna say.
Lenny Williams, cause I love. Ooh, maybe you never been in love like I've been in love.
Wow.
But anyway, that Lenny Williams, cause I love you. Yeah, Lenny
Did
Williams.
you do
he
a
loved-
live painting?
Oh, it was
You didn't do one.
no, I was gonna do one, but
All right. The actual grand opening.
we'll do it then. But Lenny Williams, he loved, and another painting, a guy, Bruce Hawes. Most people don't know who Bruce Hawes was, and he passed away. He was a songwriter, and he wrote the Black people's Mother's Day anthem, Sadie. And I told him, I said, I'm honored to do a painting to Sadie, because I said the lyrics, I said God gave you all of that. And I told him, I said, you know, my mom went on to be with the Lord in 2018, and the lyrics that you put in there, sometimes I feel so alone, but I gotta go on because that's what she wanted for me. If that ain't my mama talking to me, and I know millions of people, you know, and he said, James, I never thought that song was gonna be as big as it is. He said, I said, that's the it's interesting because our generation had Sadie. I think the 80s generation had New Edition, was it Dear Mama? And then the 90s generation had Tupac. Or was Tupac in the 80s, whichever one. But none of them compared to Sadie because I think all of them got samples from Sadie in it. So, but Bruce Hall's, I really was honored, you know, to create a painting for him from that song because, you know, that song, sometimes I hear it and I'm good, and then other times I hear it and I'm like, oh, here we go again, you know. So, but this is, I love painting now. I absolutely love painting. I love painting and I love making things happen.
So you definitely made this happen.
To make things happen is faith. And that takes us full circle, you know. I love to just make it happen. I like to, and I don't know if maybe that's just how God created me or something, because even doing the newspaper business, the magazine business, it all, or even painting, it all starts with a blank screen or a blank canvas with absolutely nothing on it. You know, when you look at these paintings, there's a moment I sat there and all I'm looking at is a white painting. I did one, a white canvas. I did one online once and the lady told me, she said, I watched you do this and I still don't know how you did it. She said, I saw the white canvas and I watched you paint and I don't see how you came up with the finished product. So I just thank God and my brother Ricky for blessing me with this talent, because like I said, if my brother had never died, I would have never picked up a paintbrush. I just was not interested. You know, I spent so much money at Michael's, and I used to think Michael's is just a store for white women.
Wow.
But I go to Michael's a lot now. Michael's and Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby. I love they canvases and they prices.
So we're not giving them advertising.
Oh yeah, well, okay.
Well, Hobby Lobby they're cool.
Well, but if y'all want to be my sponsor, anybody from Hobby Lobby watching this, hey, come on, I'm ready. Give me a image, likeness, and name into the athletes.
So I have a final question. What would you tell someone who maybe feels stuck? They've been trying to do some things for a while and it just hasn't been happening. What advice would you give them? They're creative or they have a business or whatever it may be. Just hasn't been happening.
I would say to them, you can't give up. You cannot give up. If you give up, you know what's going to happen. Nothing. But if you keep trying, you never know when God is going to open that door for you. And that's the big thing right there, is keep moving forward. I think Dr. Martin Luther King said it best. He said, if you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. If you can't crawl, get on your belly and slide. But whatever you do, keep moving forward. Because the moment you stop, the enemy is going to beat you all upside your head. you will find yourself depressed, lonely, broke, stuck, and mad at God. But if you keep going forward, the steps may not be as big as you want. You know, for all that God has done for me, I still feel like I'm behind in the game. But if you don't give up, my advice would be, do not quit. Don't give up, no matter how hard. If you gotta cry, cry. If you gotta scream, scream. If you gotta, just get mad at God, One, I can honestly say, the one time I felt God's love probably the most is a time when I was angry at Him. When you open up yourself, humble yourself, and trust God that you wanna see what He has for you. Don't give up. And then if I was to give advice number 2, you really want to go forward, ask God to show you what's wrong with you.
Now I'm in the deep end of the pool.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say this last thing because you just reminded me of something. Listening to you talk, expect to win.
That's it right there.
Expect to win. So there's an expect to win brand along with all of this. Can you just give, for those who are not connected to everything you do, can you just give, what's your Instagram? Isn't it Expect to Win?
Expect to Win Sports Media.
Yeah, go check that out on Instagram.
We have the Expect to Win Boys 7-on-7 football team. We have the Expect to Win Kids over in Kibera, Africa, and we got Expect to Win. That is a movement. It's a brand, but it's a movement.
And if they want to keep up with your art, because this is on Instagram.
On Instagram, J.Thomas Luxury. Please follow me at J.Thomas Luxury on Instagram for the art, for Expect to Win Sports Media.
All right. If you want to come out, the address again is
276 South La Cienega Boulevard, Beverly Hills, California, 90211.
And you can direct message to set up an appointment. Look out for the actual grand opening because it's going to be fabulous.
And if you want to buy some paintings, hit me up on Instagram. Hit me up on Instagram or just send me some money and I'll get you a painting.
Oh gosh. With that being said, let's get out of here. Push the button. We out. We out.